Hey YouTube, Kiritwick here, bringing you all an update to my Metalmorph Yugioh deck profile for Post-Alliance Insight. We got some new Metalmorph support in the latest Yu-Gi-Oh! Booster set in the form of Red Eyes Metal Claws Dragon. The whole focus of the deck is to play style just like the original Metalmorph play that we saw Bandit Keith and Joey Wheeler do in the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, transforming their different Red Eyes and Dragon and Fiend monsters into their metal counterparts using the Metalmorph traps they had at their disposal to do so. So wanted to update the deck with the new support Red Eyes Metal Claws Dragon, which just helps to speed along the process of the Metalmorph plays. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off with the main deck monsters. For some of our Metalmorph boss monsters, we're running 2 copies of Red Eyes Black Full Metal Dragon. It cannot be normal summon or set, must be special summoned with Max Metalmorph. That was activated by tributing a level 5 or higher dragon monster. You can reveal this card in your hand, set 1 Metalmorph trap from your deck. If you do, shuffle this card into the deck. And when your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can negate the activation and inflict damage to your opponent equal to the original attack of 1 attack position monster your opponent controls. So on top of the burn damage, you have the monster effect negation, and then just the easy trap setup of our Max Metalmorph, thanks to this card on the field. Our new card from Alliance Insight is our Red Eyes Metal Claws Dragon. You can activate Metalmorph traps the turn they were set. You can use each of the following effects of Red Eyes Metal Claws Dragon once per turn. You can send 1 face down card you control to the graveyard to special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal or special summon and you have a Max Metalmorph in your field or graveyard, you can add 1 Metalmorph trap from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So it's recycle power. Very, very useful for adding back the Max Metalmorph that we use in our graveyard back to our hand, or any of the Metalmorph traps that we run, including the Flame Coating Metalmorph trap, to use as well, with the last of our boss monsters being the Metal Zoa X. It cannot be normal summon or set, must be special summoned with Max Metalmorph. And also with this card, by tributing a level 5 or higher Fiend monster, you can reveal this card in your hand, set 1 Metalmorph trap from your deck. If you do, shuffle this card into the deck. You can only use 1 Metal Zoa X per turn effect, and this per turn effect, when your opponent activates a monster effect or a spell card effect, you can target 1 face-up card your opponent controls and destroy it. So this plays off of the Bandit Keith play that your machine monsters are unaffected by spell effects, being able to just destroy those cards thanks to this boss monster being able to do so as well. And then we're also running 3 copies of Metal Flame Swordsman. It cannot be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned with Max Metalmorph. That was activated by tributing a level 5 or higher warrior monster. So while we do not run a warrior monster in the deck, we do run a card that can copy a warrior monster effect using our Metal Illusionist, which we'll get to in just a bit. But the big play with this card is being able to reveal this card in your hand and add 1 card that mentions Max Metalmorph from your deck to your hand, giving us a search for a good variety of different cards in the deck as well. While we can't search out, sadly, the search option for our Red Eyes Metal Claws Dragon, since it doesn't specify the Max Metalmorph, we can search out the good variety of other ones we run in the deck thanks to this card, and then have additional search from there to use as well. And then once per turn, each time your opponent activates a card or effect, this card gains 300 attack and inflicts 500 damage to your opponent when that effect resolves. We're also running 3 copies of Zoa the Fiendish Beast and 3 copies of Mizanko no Yaiba, the Moon Fang Dragon. These are some of our other go-to monsters which we can transform using our Max Metalmorph on the field. Having the easy normal summon of Zoa the Fiendish Beast if your opponent controls a monster, and then just being able to special summon our Mikanzo Yaiba during the end phase if it's in our hand or graveyard, and then rely on the Max Metalmorph on the next turn to special summon out our Red Eyes Max Metal Monster using this card as well. We're also running the 3 copies of Metal Illusionist. As mentioned before, this is the card that can copy other monster types, becoming the warrior monster needed for the Flame Swordsman Metalmorph monster. Increase this card's level by 4 during your opponent's turn only. You can only use each of the following effects of Metal Illusionist once per turn. If it's normal or special summon, you can set 1 Metalmorph trap from your deck. Then if Max Metalmorph is in your graveyard, draw 1 card. You can declare 1 other monster type, and this card becomes that type until the end of the opponent's turn. So raising its level to 5 for the Flame Swordsman play, and then also being able to copy the other monsters if need be as well using this card. 3 copies of Black Metal Dragon to finish our engine of the deck. It gives us search for some of the other Red Eyes cards. Easier search if we can use our Black Metal Dragon as link material, and then just search out our other Red Eyes cards. With the rest of the Main deck monsters being 3 copies of Mulcharmy Fulos, the 3 copies of Ash Blossom, and then the 2 copies of Effect Veiler. Just the standard hand trap monster lineup to run in tandem with our engine for the Metalmorph monsters. For the spells, we have a small spell lineup, our main one being our Incoming Machine. You add 1 monster that mentions Max Metalmorph or Metalmorph Trap from your deck or graveyard to your hand. If you control a Metalmorph Trap, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target a defense monster your opponent controls, change it to face-up attack. You can use the effect of Incoming Machine once per turn, but this card can search out our Metal Claws Dragon since it has Metalmorph in its card text. Added search for a good majority of the other spells in the deck as well, with our other spells just being the 1 Crossout Designator and the 1 Call by the Grave to be able to stop our opponent's cards by banishing our own hand trap lineup or just the monsters in general in their graveyard, with our traps being 2 copies of Max Metalmorph. Tribute 1 face-up monster, special summon 1 monster that cannot be normal summoned or set, and mentions Max Metalmorph from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Then you can equip this card to it with the following effect. The equipped monster gains 400 attack and defense, cannot be destroyed by spell or monster effects. Also, your opponent cannot target monsters' effects with spell effects. And you can only activate 1 Max Metalmorph per turn, but being able to special summon that monster cannot be normal summon it or set that mentions Max Metalmorph just as an easier way to use the actual Max Metalmorph setup with that card. The 1 Flame Coating Metalmorph is the additional trap to set up as well. Added protection and special summon for our monsters, ignoring the summoning conditions of that monster as well, with the last of the main deck traps being 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence, along with the other hand traps that we run in the deck to use. And then as for the extra deck, a pretty generic rank 7 lineup in the form of Dark Arm, the Dragon of Annihilation, the 1 Gaia Dragon, the Thunder Charger, the 1 number 11 Big Eye, the 1 number 76 Harmonizer, Gradiel, the 1 Sky Crisis, and the 1 Sky Thunder. For the Xyz monsters, with our Link monsters being the 2 Heretic Seals, Seal of Heavenly Spheres. For the Dragon setup, especially with our Black Metal Dragons, the 1 SP Little Knight, the 1 Dark the Charmer Gloomy, the 1 Donner Dagger for Hire, along with the 1 Moon of the Closed Heaven, and the other links being the 1 Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos, 1 Nightmare Unicorn, and then the 1 Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. As for some of the go-to plays in the deck, they mentioned before for our Red Eyes Metal Claw Dragon, being able just to speed along the plays for our Metalmorph cards gives us more or less that reaction time that we want as well. Being able to send 1 face down card we control the graveyard to special summon this card from our hand. So if we have the added trap as well, being that special summon, we could just set 1 of those additional cards onto the field as well for that play. So what we can even do with this setup, just being able to send 1 face down card we control the graveyard to special summon this card, and then with this added search with the Metalmorph, being able to add that card back. So if we set the Max Metalmorph on the field, sending it to special summon our Metal Claw Dragon, we can then use it to reset up the Max Metalmorph and then have the Metalmorph used for that play to get out our go-to boss monster all the more quickly with just this 2-card setup. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Just a quick update to the Red Eyes Metalmorph deck utilized by Joey and Bandit Keith in the original anime, with the updated support from the many booster packs we've seen throughout the past couple months. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.